To help me get into college. My brother hired me a tutor. Broad shoulders, narrow waist, tall with long legs. This wasn't a teacher, this was future husband material. I sprawled across the desk, smirking up at him. One kiss per problem solved. Jacob. Jacob adjusted his silver-rimmed glasses, amber eyes glinting. Your brother would fire me. My fingertips itched to remove those frames, but he tilted his head away. I nearly snorted, as if my brother didn't know exactly what kind of disaster I was when he hired this man. Leaning closer, I batted my lashes. Fine, no kissing. Just show me your glasses-free look? He couldn't resist, nobody ever did. Will you actually study afterward? Cross my heart. The transformation stunned me. Without his glasses, Jacob's absurdly long lashes framed eyes that somehow turned sultry. My pulse skyrocketed as he rubbed his blushing earlobe. Satisfied? You've got a beauty mark, I blurted, clutching my chest. New kissing target acquired. He calmly reinstalled his glasses. Armor restored. Pass this month's math exam, and I'll grant any reasonable wish. Anywhere? I perked up. Lips are off limits. Other zones? Focus. His knuckles rapped the trigonometry worksheet. I sighed at the alphabet soup supposedly equaling one. That voice should be murmuring sweet nothings, not explaining cosine. My wandering thoughts earned a pencil tap to my forehead. Problem 12. Jacob prompted. Jacob. I grinned. Do you use shirt stays? His neck flushed crimson despite the steady reply. For formal events. They maintain crisp lines. I drawled. Using them today. Are we? Let me check. Shouldn't you focus on your homework? Don't you want your wish granted? I pouted and dragged my gaze back to the textbooks. The butler knocked just as I was tearing my hair out over sine versus cosine. If I couldn't tell them apart, If I failed, Jacob would never model those garter belts for me. Art. A muffled voice interrupted my mental breakdown. Young Master Liam, Mr. Carter, dinner is served. I scrambled up so fast I nearly tripped over the chair. The moment I left my desk, my true colors resurfaced. Across the dining table, Jacob sat cutting a quail egg into 2 delicate bites like some Victorian aristocrat. I shamelessly stared at his Adam's apple. Your drool's actually dripping, Jacob remarked, equal parts exasperated and amused. I swiped my mouth with a napkin and popped an entire quail egg in my mouth. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Jacob open his mouth. The scalding yolk burned my tongue. All his warnings dissolved into laughter dancing in those hazel eyes. Was about to tell you they're hot. I stared, momentarily hypnotized. Then I marched over and stuck out my tongue. Does it look bad, Professor? His gaze darkened as it lingered on my lips. You'll live. Leaning closer until our knees touched. I mumbled, You sure? Check again. He jerked back like I'd electrocuted him. Do you invade everyone's personal space like this? Just yours. Liar. Post-dinner tutoring felt like slow torture. But by midnight, I finally conquered the trigonometric demons, which is why I barged into Jacob's room clutching a pillow. The live-in tutor was still damp from his shower. Steam curled around his bare shoulders as he hastily tied his robe. For half a heartbeat, I glimpsed water droplets trailing down his collarbone. You should be asleep, he said hoarsely, back rigid. I flopped onto his bed. Can't. Insomnia crisis. The humid air smelled like his cedarwood shampoo. Master Liam, you're an adult now, still needing bedtime stories? Apparently I do. He chuckled lowly. Just as I thought he might cave. Jacob shut me down. No birthday wishes if you don't go to sleep properly right now. TSK. Fine. Liam never chases short-term gains. 6 a.m. next morning. Jacob dragged me out of bed. Woke up to that gorgeous face. Sweet. Grinning hoarsely, I teased. Do teachers give good morning kisses? Regrettably, no. Faking disappointment, I headed downstairs for breakfast before school, waving goodbye to my hot tutor. I paid laser focus during math class today. My usual troublemaker crew gaped. You possessed or something? I scoffed. You'd never understand, being terminally single. The guy nodded sagely. Got it. Master Liam found himself a new plaything. Plaything? My pulse echoed yesterday's frantic rhythm. Jacob felt different from my usual toys. My friend studied me. Wait, you're serious this time? I stayed silent. Family baggage made me allergic to commitment. Those smooth pickup lines? Just tools for cheap thrills. Some blushed. Some flirted back. A few assumed I'd bottom only to bolt when they saw the equipment. I'd shove cash in their back pockets afterward, no attachments. But Jacob? Even when I threw myself at him, he didn't kiss me. Annoying. Why's he special? Fingers twitching for a cigarette. I remembered my brother confiscated them stateside. I rubbed my thumb and forefinger. We'll see. Am I serious about Jacob? We'll see. Current goals. Glimpse his shirt garters. And prove he's just like the rest. The afternoon bell rang. Same lecture. Zero focus. After school. Friends invited me clubbing. The staff misses your tips. Can't. Someone's waiting. They joked about me being whipped. The label felt weirdly satisfying. Jacob as wifey material? Could work. The familiar after-school tutoring session. Jacob wore a shirt with subtle patterns today. The top 2 buttons undone to reveal his Adam's apple and collarbones. Under certain lighting, the faint geometric designs shimmered with his movements while glimpses of skin teased through the parted fabric. Resting my chin on my palm, I leaned closer until his warm cedarwood scent enveloped me. Jacob, you smell amazing. What brand of laundry detergent do you use? He shifted backward slightly, his throat working as his gaze darted to the trigonometry worksheets. Our housekeeper handles laundry. We probably use the same detergent as your family. Feigning curiosity, I sniffed my own collar. Really? Yours seems richer. Tilting my head, I pressed my lips near his neck and exhaled deliberately, satisfaction curling through me as pink bloomed across his skin. Jacob pressed fingertips against my forehead to push me away. I captured his hand, pressing his knuckles to my cheek. Don't you like me, Professor? His attempt to withdraw faltered when I tightened my grip. Long lashes veiled his eyes as he murmured. How many others have heard that line? Not many. Most don't last long enough to hear it. Define not many. Exactly one. A humorless chuckle escaped him. His thumb brushed my lower lip, his gaze flickering with something dangerous. What if I take you seriously? I'd be disappointed if you didn't. My tongue darted out to graze his fingerprint. So? Do you? Show me a passing grade on Friday's algebra test first. He's already hooked. They all are. But I want to hear him say it. Calculus equations became my playthings during 2 weeks of dawn to dusk studying. When my 61% materialized on the scoreboard, anticipation coiled in my stomach. Tonight, Professor Perfect would be eating out of my palm. Damn. Liam. My buddy slung an arm around my shoulders, eyeing the transcript. Who knew you had brain cells? Celebration at Nightshade? The mention of our usual haunt sparked cravings. As they dragged me toward the exit chanting about hiring the club's prettiest twinks, I spotted Jacob leaning against his Mercedes across the street. The black turtleneck he wore outlined every muscle normally hidden beneath dress shirts. That meme was right, fitted knits really are menswear's ultimate weapon. Paired with his silver-framed glasses and that stoic expression, the look screamed forbidden fruit. My fingers itched to unravel him right there on the hood. My friend stopped when I paused. What are you looking at? Liam? Isn't that your tutor coming to pick you up? Guess you're ditching us for Club Twilight tonight. Just some tutor. Don't be such a pushover. The twinks are all waiting. Their overlapping chatter gave me a headache. I locked eyes with Jacob across the busy street. Coming home? He asked. I smirked. Nope. No way I'd be that obedient. It'd make me look desperate. Jacob didn't argue, just asked when I'd return. 10. I remembered my plan to rip his shirt off later. Might as well wrap things up early. He nodded. I'll pick you up then. Nightfall brought intoxication. A pretty twink straddled my lap, feeding me champagne. Liam never visits anymore. Found someone hotter? I tilted his chin, studying his face. Truth was, Jacob's features outshined his by miles. Checking my phone for the time, the twink pouted and snatched it away. Am I that boring now? Can't even keep your attention? I chuckled, sliding a black card into his waistband. Open more bottles. His loud kiss landed on my cheek as I patted his hip. My drunk friend heckled. Looks like someone's tutor has our Liam completely whipped. I drained my glass, Don't be ridiculous. Just a tutor. My throat closed when I looked up to see Jacob leaning coldly against the doorway. How long had he been there? Shoving through the crowd. I put on my best innocent act. Jacob, you came. Is it 10 already? 10:30. I've waited half an hour. His voice could frostbite Florida. Why didn't you call? 5 calls. No answer. Fuck. I scrambled for my phone. 5 missed calls and texts galore. A persistent twink tried clinging to me, but I ducked away. Jacob's gaze followed the movement. Coming home? Yes. The car was eerily quiet. Jacob didn't even turn on the radio. Sitting shotgun, I nervously tried breaking the tension. Jacob, I passed my math midterm this time. The ice remained firmly unbroken. I stole a glance at his profile illuminated by moonlight, the faint beauty mark near his eye disappearing into shadows, tempting me to lean closer. If only he'd show some emotion. My fingers brushed against his cool pinky. Are you mad because I stayed late? No, I'm just the tutor. Why would I care? Damn. Those words, just the tutor, hit like a physical blow. I froze as Jacob withdrew his hand and slammed the brakes. We're home. He strode off before I could react. I wanted to slap my past self for running my mouth at the bar. Now he'd heard everything. Damn it all. Knowing relationship repairs can't wait. I barged into his room clutching my test. Jacob, help me review the problems? It's late. He paused mid-shirt removal. Back still turned. Leave. I planted myself at his desk. Those drunk words at the club didn't mean anything. Not my business. Jacob. The door slammed behind me as he physically removed me. Furious, I kicked the wood. Jacob, you asshole. I've never groveled like this for anyone. Storming off felt good. For 5 minutes. Soon I returned shamefaced with bedding. Knocking softly. Still mad? I'm camping outside your door. Watch your step. Silence. I just settled on the floor when light spilled out. Jacob stood framed in the doorway, exhaling coldly. You're quite the expert at this. How many people have you sweet-talked? I slipped into Jacob's room, kicking the door shut with my foot before pinning him against the wooden surface. The light switch clicked off under my palm. While I might lack experience in coaxing others, seduction was my native language. Tilting my chin up, I locked eyes with him, close enough that our breaths mingled between aligned noses. Professor Carter seems awfully invested in my romantic history. I'm not. Just your tutor. Got it. Those 3 words, just your tutor, would haunt me forever. My gaze drifted downward as my palm slid along the defined plane of his waist, fingertips tracing slow circles. The rhythm of his breathing fractured beneath my touch. If we're just tutor and student, Jacob, I murmured, lips grazing his earlobe, we wouldn't be doing this. He arched backward, pale throat bared like sacrificial offering. I claimed it without mercy, teeth grazing his Adam's apple as it bobbed against my mouth. A choked sound escaped him before shoving me away. Exactly. Tutors shouldn't do this. But then again, Liam treats everyone like this, doesn't he? My eyebrow twitched. Seriously, man? You've got that much self-control? I barked a humorless laugh. Only with you. Jacob removed his silver-rimmed glasses, frosty hazel eyes cutting through me. You expect me to believe that? Same empty promises when you claimed to like me. Same broken vow about being home by 10. Who first said just a tutor? Liam? His lips, pink as cherry blossoms, moved hypnotically. Whatever lecture he was delivering got drowned out by the primal urge to shut him up with my mouth. I darted forward, only to have his hand clamp my jaw in vice-like restraint. Liam. Adams. Each word crackled with uncharacteristic fury. Look closely. I'm not some rent boy you can summon and dismiss. I swallowed hard. You owe me a wish. Jacob. I want to kiss you. Get out. The door slammed behind me. Moments later, it cracked open just enough to eject my crumpled calculus exam against my chest. Fists clenching and unclenching, I stared at the grained wood. Different from others? Hell if I knew. Every cell screamed to bang on that door, to grovel and provoke until he yielded. But 3 rejections stacked like armor plating around what little pride I had left. Morning light found us back at the dining table. That same composed voice dissected my failed equations, pointer tip tapping red X's. The chain rule applies here. You forgot to derive the inner function. I watched his lips shape the words, suddenly grateful for the table hiding my clenched thighs. I rested my chin on my palm, my gaze gradually shifting from the test papers to Jacob's face. He seemed different from others. After what felt like an eternity, Jacob pressed his lips together and set down his pen. I snapped out of my daze like waking from a dream. Mr. Carter, where were we? He turned his head slightly away, what might have been a sigh escaping him. His pen resumed moving as he repeated the already explained concepts. Beyond discussing problems, he offered no extra conversation. This strange tension hung between us for hours. His tutoring remained clear and effective, yet he'd stopped acknowledging me entirely, avoiding physical contact, cutting off attempts at conversation, wolfing down dinner to leave before I could speak. Watching his retreating back became my new normal. He'd truly become just a tutor now, erasing every connection beyond teacher-student boundaries. The realization made my chest constrict painfully. I remembered the unused wish still lingering between us. That night, I hovered nervously outside his bedroom door. The door swung open abruptly, Jacob's eyes widening slightly at seeing me there. He immediately tried shutting it again. I blocked the movement with my foot. My wish is for Jacob to stop being mad at me. I was never angry. Then why? The closing door swallowed my unfinished question. I wanted to demand why he'd been ignoring me. An invisible weight crushed my chest, making me want to kick down his damn door and see what secrets he kept locked inside those labyrinthine thoughts. My gloom persisted for days until Liam dragged me upright from my desk chair. Enough moping. Princess, it's my birthday small gathering at my place tonight. We're not hitting clubs or hiring escorts. Even your precious tutor can't object. I sighed. That tutor hadn't spoken to me at all lately. Fine. No time for gifts, I'll wire you cash. That evening, after handing Liam the red envelope, I camped at a corner table drowning myself in drinks. My phone screen glowed with our frozen chat history, my message about canceling tutoring, his single icy okay. No questions about where I was, what I was doing, when I'd return. The indifference hurt worse than any anger. The bartender passed by again. Without thinking, I stopped him and downed the entire glass. He tried to grab it in panic but was too late. I handed the empty glass back, confused. What's wrong? Liam lunged at me like he wanted to strangle me. That was the last dose of premium aphrodisiac I spent months tracking down. Meant for my brother. What am I supposed to do now? I hesitated between fury and guilt. You and your brother? Ahem. Not your business. Seriously? The drug's effects intensified. Liam barked orders to drag me to a guest room. Want me to call a bottom for you? I shook my dizzy head. Call a doctor. Too late. Unless you get dialysis right now, you'll literally explode. My eyes burned red. What fucking grudge? Do you have against your brother? None of your concern. Least I can do is get you someone with a killer waistline. He reached for his phone. I tackled him. Don't. I won't sleep with strangers. Then die horny? Wait. Should I call that tutor of yours? No. I staggered back. Skull pounding. Goddamn drug. Fuck. I was burning up. Shit. Liam. Stop looking at me like that. We're both tops. Remember? Shut up. Call. Doctor. I bolted into the bathroom, plunging into the filled bathtub. Early summer warmth meant nothing. The water stabbed my skin with icy needles. Yet the fire beneath only grew. Minutes crawled by. I trembled violently, veins straining to absorb non-existent relief. The door finally clicked open. Dripping wet, I stumbled out expecting medics, only to find a middle-aged drunkard reeking of liquor. He leered. Ho, presents for me? I deadpanned. Know who my brother is? Ethan. Walk away. Stop playing the chaste martyr. He lunged forward and grabbed my hair. I retaliated with an elbow strike. The man cursed under his breath, attempting to force himself on me. Revulsion crawled over my skin. I kicked viciously at his groin. Dizziness washed over me as I collapsed to the floor, my counterattacks growing weaker. With my last ounce of strength, I dialed Jacob Carter. When Jacob's voice came through the phone, tears welled in my eyes. Jacob, come save me. Chaos erupted outside as friends burst through the door with backup. During the commotion, strong arms pulled me into a familiar embrace smelling of laundry soap. I nuzzled against Jacob's neck, drug-induced boldness overtaking me. "I want to have sex with you." "Ambitious," he snorted. Darkness claimed me before I could reply. Memories surfaced, that childhood day finding my serial cheater father with another man. When I tried fleeing, he dragged me back by the hair, forcing me to watch. "You'll end up just like me." I'd vomited repeatedly, the trauma embedding deep. Years later, when I realized his prediction came true, I drove us both off that rooftop. He died in prison surrounded by naked inmates. I spent years rebuilding tolerance, now barely handling skin contact. Occasional cheek kisses. Except with Jacob. Only he ever stirred real desire without nausea. My throat tightened, remembering his recent coldness. Medical monitors screeched as I blinked awake. Seeing Jacob's face, clarity pierced through the haze. The erratic heartbeat, the desperate need to touch him, the ache when he withdrew, it all made sense now. I managed a weak smile. This changed everything. As I spoke, my breath fogged up the green oxygen mask in rhythmic bursts, mirroring the erratic thumping of my heartbeat whenever I saw him. "Mr. Carter, I like you. Just had your stomach pumped and already causing trouble?" Jacob replied dryly. I grinned wider, my nose stinging. "You haven't talked to me like this in so long." Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Ethan return. I immediately pointed at Jacob. "Ethan, I like him. Can't you pull some strings to make him marry me? Like how you talked Noah into marrying you." Noah flushed crimson and stomped on Ethan's foot. "Oh right, my brother's husband is also a guy." After the commotion died down, Ethan and Noah left first. Jacob poured me a glass of warm water. "Stick to bland foods these next few days." Sunlight filtered through his white button-down, outlining the lean curve of his waist. Couldn't look away. I wet my lips and met his gaze. "Jacob, I said I like you." "Noted. That's all you've got?" Plenty have heard the Adams heir's declarations of affection. Only an idiot would take them seriously. His cold chuckle held bitterness. "I'm just the tutor." Knowing I'd earned this distrust, I gestured to the heart monitor. "My pulse hits 180 when I'm with you. Could spike to 200 with someone else." Jacob dismissed, clearly unconvinced. Frustration burned through me. I wanted to grab his collar and kiss him senseless, press his palm against my racing heart until he felt how pathetically gone I was. So I did. Our joined hands transmitted every frantic beat. Heat seared where our skin met. Jacob pulled away, cheeks pinkening until his beauty mark looked edible. The man had me hooked like a dam trout. Yet he only said mildly, "Prove it then, this liking of yours." Now we'd entered uncharted territory. 18 years alive, and this was my first crush. Courting someone? Clueless. But I'm a quick study. After discharge, I grilled every trust fund buddy I knew. Useless. All spoiled brats who'd never chased anything but tail. Desperate. I cornered Noah at home. He frowned after hearing me out. Why overcomplicate it? Just seduce him. I rubbed my hands nervously. Won't that seem cheap? So you're saying you flirted with him the first time you met, tried to kiss him later, and now you think you're being too forward? I stayed silent for a moment before nodding. If I'd figured this out earlier, I would have properly courted him instead of messing up our relationship. No kiss achieved, just cold shoulders. That bitter taste? Never again. No, it's scared twice. Liam, you're hopeless. My cheeks burned as I looked down. My sister-in-law glared at me, frustration radiating from her clenched teeth. Why are you blushing? No one taught me, so I'd teach myself. I'd read 108 Ways to Chase Someone 8 times. Couldn't remember a thing. Sitting next to Jacob during tutoring sessions, I'd forget how to hold a pencil. Noah laughed at my patheticness. Whatever. Being nervous around your crush is normal. He's all about that confrontational brother rivalry crap. Wouldn't understand real couple vibes. But Jacob teased me too. 2 hours of tutoring, 90 minutes spent staring at me, the rest zoning out. Liam, do you even want to get into college? My face flamed crimson, remembering my first bold line to him. 1 kiss per solved problem. Said it so casually back then. Now if Jacob kissed me, fireworks wouldn't cover it. My gaze drifted to his lips. Actual kissing might work. Jacob lowered his gaze, pondering. How about one kiss per solved problem? My eyes widened as I scrambled backward, tripping over the chair leg with an undignified yelp. My heart threatened to burst through my ribs. Jacob chuckled, eyes crinkling like starlight. Such a big reaction? I clutched my chest, willing my heartbeat to stabilize. Seriously, can we? Let's test it. I gulped, clambering back onto the chair. So, how do we? He tilted my chin, leaning closer. My breath hitched. At the last second, he turned his head, soft lips brushing my cheekbone instead. The fleeting warmth left me dazed, fingers touching the spot. Jacob tapped my other cheek. Not this side. Someone else kissed here before. My sluggish memory recalled that cursed bar night. Damn alcohol. Never drinking again. Ready to focus now. Mr. Carter? I mumbled, still tracing my cheek. Jacob smiled. All innocence. Had enough? Can we review the problems? Actually, I need to handle some personal business. He lowered his head, realization dawning. Go rest. Tomorrow's Saturday, we'll extend tutoring to 6 hours. You can review then. He kissed me. The excitement drove me to hike up the mountain overnight, shivering at the summit until dawn cooled my frenzy. Returning with breakfast, I searched for Jacob everywhere. Not in his room, study nook, nor mine. Circling twice, I finally heard voices outside my brother's study. Peering through the cracked door, I saw Jacob lounging on the leather sofa, profile illuminated by cigarette glow. Smoke curled upward, dissolving his usual tutor demeanor into that of a seasoned businessman, perhaps my brother's equal. My brother stood framed by floor-to-ceiling windows. How long will you love him? Jacob tilted his head back against the cushions, morning light obscuring his features. He took a drag, stubbing out the cigarette. Spare me the poetry. Just watch. Watch how long we'll last. Rising, he brushed imaginary lint from his seat. Leaving now. Tutoring starts soon. My heart raced as I fled, unaware of how long he'd smiled at my forgotten breakfast and unclosed door. Jacob lied. Well, omission technically. I never asked. Lying in bed, I tracked the clock's march. 10 more minutes until he'd arrive, silver-rimmed glasses, rolled sleeves revealing forearms, that clean soap scent. Suddenly, previously overlooked details crystallized. The lingering glances, unbuttoned collar over black turtleneck, that smile that liquefied my knees. How 2 compliments flushed his cheeks. How touches drew muffled sounds. Old fox, playing the blushing tutor while scheming since day one. So certain I'd bite? Damn right. Strangely unangry, I felt liberated, even proud. Told you, if my brother let this walking red flag teach me. What did that make him? Knox interrupted. Liam, rise and shine. Breakfast before lessons. Silence. The door creaked open. Jacob patted my blanket mound. I kicked off the blankets and yanked Jacob's arm down. He tumbled onto the mattress beside me. Our body heat mingled as I pressed my forehead against his. Jacob, I whispered. I washed the other side of my face. Wanna kiss me? He tossed his glasses across the room before leaning in to brush his lips against my cheek. Just cheeks? His breath warmed my skin. Then it became just lips, and just touching, until I flipped us over, pinning him beneath me. Those unfairly long lashes fluttered as he murmured. I bruise easily. When I blinked, our positions had reversed. Damn silver fox. Our tutoring session got postponed till afternoon. At dinner, Noah slid me a cushion when he noticed my shaky legs. Thought you were the top? He whispered. Jacob hid his smile behind a napkin. He is. The table erupted in knowing chuckles. My dignity hung by a thread. I first saw Liam at 14. He stood apart from the SWAT team, directing officers to raid the underground club. When arrested patrons filed out, an old man spat curses at him. Liam remained statue still, icy disdain masking his features until the crowd dispersed. Then his fists unclenched. The dam broke, silent tears became choking sobs. His school blazer sleeves soaked through. I ached to comfort him, but what right did I have? I'd come to that alley to interview as an underage escort, desperate enough to sell myself. By the time I gathered courage, Police tape already sealed the entrance. In 4 years, I clawed from working 5 jobs with 2 hours sleep to facing his brother in a boardroom. Power brought access to Liam's files. Each page detailing his lonely battles deepened my obsession. When I finally requested to tutor him, his brother scoffed. Why would I let some predator near my baby brother? Because I'd rebuilt my entire existence to deserve him. Because wanting had long since curdled into needing. Because even vipers recognize sunlight. I laid out my 4-year resume. Even Liam was stunned when he saw it. I made a bet with his brother, a 1-month deadline. If I couldn't teach him properly, if he truly rejected me, I'd abandon everything I'd built over 4 years and vanish from his life completely. That's how I earned this chance to get close to him. What Liam thought was our first meeting. I'd schemed relentlessly, calculated every move to make it happen. He kept mesmerizing me. When he asked if I liked him, I actually believed love had found me, until I overheard him saying the same thing to someone else outside that VIP lounge. That's when I realized how stupid I'd been. To him, I was just another plaything, no different from those escorts he entertained. Years ago, he saved me. I clawed my way to the top for him. Yet in his eyes, I'm just amusement. If that's all I am, why act so devastated? Why fake heartbreak to trick me? Still, I'm thrilled. There's this new allure about me now. I checked, he only called me, not his brother. Doesn't that mean I'm special? And we're discussing marriage now. That's got to mean something. Let's be clear, I'm no saint. These past 4 years, I've done terrible things to get here. I'm terrified Liam only loves the polished tutor version of me. But I'm also dying to see his reaction when he meets the real, unfiltered me. That's why I left clues on purpose. When I chatted with his brother in the study that day, we both knew the instant Liam opened the door. Neither of us exposed it. Good thing. Liam loves me, and I love him,